All right, so being an entrepreneur, were you raised in an entrepreneur household?
Uh, That's an excellent question. Yes and no. I think that my family was very hands-on, very DIY with things, but in terms of creating actual businesses, I'd say no. But they were always very did it their own way. So I think that's where my entrepreneurial background kind of stemmed from.
And when did you decide to technically be an entrepreneur? When did that first come to your mind?
I guess college. I had done a skincare company. Well, I mean, it started as just, a craft show kind of thing, and it merged into a skincare company that became just this industry darling and had all these awards, industry awards. It got my name in the New York Times and all this really cool stuff. But it started from just trying to figure out a way to make extra money in college.
Awesome, awesome. Were there any hurdles or fears, or because it seems like you just did it just to do it, and you like, but was there some people want to start a business, but they don't because they're afraid they don't have the degree, they don't have the this, they don't have the that. So did you just go in unknowingly, or did you have a fear before you started?
Uh, I went in unknowingly, which was probably, it was just, the hubris of being 20, 21, and thinking like, I can do this. It's fine. I also graduated during the recession. So it, I think that sort of stemmed in addition to realizing that there weren't really a lot of job opportunities for someone like me. I graduated with a degree in social sciences, which was fun to learn. But when I became a senior and was about to graduate, I realized like, oh, I don't really have a lot of options here. So I'm going to have to do it as I go. And I think that that was a big driving factor. And the fears and the, um, the things that keep you awake at night, those sort of came after.
Okay. So let's talk about your business. You do digital marketing. How did you get in that market?
So when I was running my skincare company, I was terrified to give up control of anything. It was about 8 years into it, and I wouldn't let anybody in. I did all the packaging, all the marketing, all the customer service, the bookkeeping, the product design, like everything. It was me. And I said at the time that it was because there was no money available. But what was actually the case was just I was afraid to let people in and see the cluster fluff, if you will, of an operation that I was running. And I had actually ended up burning out because of that and realized that this business that I had created had turned from this dream career into just a job I hated. I hated to go to it every day, and I ended up walking away from it. I could have sold it, but it was just sort of like a bad relationship where you want to break it off and just start fresh. So when I did that, I had to figure out, what do I want to be when I grow up now? I still have to earn a living. And I had this blog that I was running called Handmade Brooklyn, and it was sort of just a compendium of these different entrepreneurs that I was meeting around New York City and all of these really cool things. And it had begun to evolve into me talking about the experiences that I had as an entrepreneur. And from there, I began to realize that that was really what I enjoyed doing. I really enjoyed talking to people about how a business is run and the ins and outs and sort of like the mechanics of what a quote unquote successful business should look like. And from there, I began to realize that what I was really interested in and what really sparked my imagination and, made me corner people at cocktail parties was talking about marketing. It was really fascinating to me, the ways that things just sort of could click for people in such a way. And so that became really the driving force of not only what was interesting to me, but what I was able to help other entrepreneurs do. And so that's how I became a marketing strategist, just learning something that I was really passionate about and becoming just insatiable for finding out more information and teaching other people. And I created the business out of it.
So let's say someone comes to you looking for your services. What do you offer? What can they look for? What exactly does your business offer to your clients?
So what I say is that I am essentially, you're hiring a vice president of marketing for your business. And what my clients will do when they come to me is we'll create a marketing plan for them. I usually deal with entrepreneurs who are either what I call kitchen table entrepreneurs, like they're just about to make the transition to full time, or they've been in their business for a while and feel like it's sort of stagnant. And what we'll do is we'll sit down, we'll work on what it is that their marketing plan is either lacking, or if they don't have one, we'll start from the beginning and create their avatar, talk about features versus benefits, create a SWOT analysis, start realizing where their customers are, how they can talk to them, and what sort of conversions we should look at for data. Because unfortunately with marketing, it's not 10 Instagram followers equals $10. It's much more nuanced than
Mhm.
that. So it's my job as the temporary VP of marketing to teach these people how to become entrepreneurs who understand the concept of marketing and what it can do for a business. It doesn't have to be a black hole you throw money into. It's just about creating a conversation with your ideal customers and showing them how you solve their problems.
Neat. What is something you've learned in marketing? I'm sure there's multiple, but give us two mistakes you see often business people make in marketing.
Oh, the biggest one that I think I see too often is that people want to be everywhere. They want to be on all social media platforms because they're there, and why not use them? And there's so much burnout that comes along with that. So one thing that I tell people and coach my clients with is stop trying to be everywhere. Be where your customers are. If you're not a visual company, don't be on Instagram. If you're not, if you are a visual company, then maybe Twitter's not right for you. Like figure out who your ideal customers are and how they utilize the platform. And then that's where you're able to kind of pinpoint your marketing and target your uh, your marketing strategy to become more effective. And I would say the other thing I see is people starting to advertise too quickly. I think that you just sort of assume that what I need to do for marketing is create a Facebook ad, and I need to throw money at that, and I need to just put that in because that's what everyone else is doing. But what I usually caution people towards is not advertising right away. You need to understand who your ideal customer is, where they are, and what they're looking for. And by doing that, you're able to sort of trim down all of the fat there and figure out how you can pinpoint them accurately, which is going to save you so much money. So those are the two biggest things that I usually coach my clients with.
Great. So, what is a mistake you say you made during your process of entrepreneurship that you wish you would have known prior to making it?
This is going to sound so egotistical, but I don't regret any of the decisions that I made because they brought me here to talk to you. And like that's I don't regret any of those bad moments. What I think I would have, in an ideal world, I wish I would have learned how to be more vulnerable as an entrepreneur the first time around and let people into my business and let people help me. Nobody gets any awards for being the busiest person. And so I was very much trying to impress people by showing how busy I was when I was just destroying myself and burning myself out. And I wish that I had learned earlier that it's not a badge of honor to be that person. You need to let people in that know what they're doing. And, this is such a trope, but I feel like it really is true. The money comes when you do let people in. I think that people are afraid to spend money on apps or services or people because they think like, I don't have that money. But what they realize, and what I realized later on, is that when I was able to let people into this business as as a marketing strategist, I have a staff behind me. I get to focus on the things that do earn money rather than doing all of that back end stuff. And so the money comes because my time is more focused on money making activities rather than, figuring out what social media content to post.
That's great, great advice. Now, I'm going to make an assumption that
Sure.
you had to make changes, but the pandemic hasn't really affected your business as much as others. But
Yeah.
what were some of the things you had to change?
I That's an excellent question. I was very fortunate in that most of my clients were already online. And so I didn't really have to change a lot. But I began to reach out to people more who were affected, and not for a sales tactic, but I just noticed so many people who felt like they were flailing and struggling and, you know, untethered. And so what I did is start to really focus on those people and not sell them anything, but just like, how can I help you? What is it in your business that you feel like is rudderless and is making you feel this way? Like, how can you not let the pandemic become the end all be all, but just become a pivot point? And that was something that I really tried hard to focus on last year.
Right. Now, this might be a little difficult question to answer, but
Okay.
if you know of any off the top of your head during your process of being an entrepreneur, if you were inspired by any entrepreneurs dead or alive and you would like to sit down and talk to them, meet them, have lunch with them, who would this entrepreneur be and why?
The first one who comes to mind is Amy Porterfield. When I was running my skincare business, I had a huge order for a subscription box company. It was 20,000 samples that I had to make. And as I said, like, I was doing it all by myself. So it took me all summer to make these 20,000 samples. I know, right? Like, coffee was key. And I listened to her podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy, throughout the majority of that. And I would say, like, she helped me learn so much about marketing and was definitely key to who I am today and what I do, because I just got to listen, I just binged her podcast because I needed something to do while I was making all these samples. And I would love to reach out to her and just say thank you. Like, thank you for this free thing that you gave me that changed my life and turned me into this marketing strategist.